experience is the opportunity for AP students to participate in a self-designed project or internship that they can work on after AP exams, but only in classes that do not end in Regents exams. The classes no longer meet. The students do 2 hours per week per participating AP class, and they can choose any of the participating AP teachers to be their mentor. And we match them up with a mentor, and it could be anybody. It doesn't have to be a teacher that they've had. It could be someone that they just think would be cool to work with. And they can work on a project or an internship that can involve community service, or it could be something that they're interested in terms of a career, and things like that. In conclusion, they do a presentation to the mentor and the rest of the kids in that mentor's group, and that counts towards their fourth quarter grade in all of their AP classes that are participating in the program.
My name is Robert Recchia, and for my AP Experience project, I tried to learn the violin.
I'm Mitchell.
And I'm Herschel.
And for our AP Experience project, we made ping pong pedals.
My name is Robert Gargano.
And my name is Mike Palumbo.
And for our AP Experience project, we made 4 Adirondack chairs and a table.
With the help of Mr. Lakasha.
My name is Dominic Finaro.
My name is Sasha Kononenko.
And we cleaned Brookside Preserve as our project.
So I've been in the AIDS Awareness Club for 3 years now. And every May of every year we go and we do these presentations in the elementary schools where we present about HIV and how to stay safe and how it's transmitted. And I realized a lot of kids don't know what HIV is in 6th grade, and I feel like it's something people should know about. So I decided to do a children's book. I illustrated and wrote a children's book about HIV that explains it in a way that's simple and fun for kids. You know, it's a very serious topic and it's very complex, so I felt this was the best way to explain it. And I checked if something like this exists, and it doesn't, so I thought this would be a good idea.
So for my AP experience, at first I started out with the goal of learning Java and creating an app, but I realized that in the time frame I only got the time to learn Java. But I definitely feel like it was a good experience because I now have a great foundation in Java. I can move on to more advanced things and in the future actually create the app. I value the AP experience because it gave me the time to actually do this. It's something I've been meaning to do, but because of school I never really had the time. I think that coding and the programming knowledge is definitely valuable now in this age. So I think that giving the opportunity to do this outside of school, but kind of through school, really gave me that edge up in career and in college and things like that.
The wall in the senior lounge next to student activities, there was this beach painted on it. It was since 2006, and Mr. Turk had the idea that somebody should redo it 10 years later. So he asked me if I would be willing to paint over it, so that was my AP experience.
Hi, I'm Simone DeBellis.
And I'm Megan Lutz.
And for our AP Experience project, we went to the kindergarten center, taught them about artists, and set up an art show on their field day.
Every day, 4th and 5th period, we went to the kindergarten center and we taught 2 classes, a half an hour each class, about a different artist, and we did a project with them.
Some of the artists we taught them were Monet, Matisse, Georgia O'Keeffe. We taught them about Seurat and Pointillism, and we also taught them about Van Gogh.
The kids loved the painting. They loved just doing art in general because they don't have an art class in the kindergarten center. So that was the main reason why we both decided to do this project, because we love working with kids and we wanted to do art with them.
I painted a sunflower like Van Gogh. I love painting.
My name is Zhang Xiao Li. I make research about food and chemistry in my AP experience.
I was a volunteer at Bobby and the Strays. It's basically a dog shelter and an animal shelter.
So basically there's this musical that ran off Broadway for less than 2 weeks because it was that awful, but I love it. It's called Zombie Prom. So they sing this song about her experience the night that he ran away, and then in the very next scene she's wearing a completely different dress. She's wearing a now black dress, and her classmates make the comment that she has been wearing only black to school for the past 3 weeks. But the previous song takes place on the same day, but she's not in the black dress. So my idea was to create a costume that she could quickly change on stage because she doesn't have a time to leave the stage and come back, to quickly create a costume where she could change from her first costume into the black dress while still on stage. And I also just generally have to do a lot of research on the 1950s, the type of people that were there, the type of clothing that was popular. I feel like everyone just knows of the pinup dresses for that all the girls like to wear, but all like the research that the boys, like what the boys wore, the difference between like teenagers and adults, and like all that stuff. So I drew out, so I learned how to like draw costumes and everything. And my mom used to make like American Girl doll costumes and stuff, so she like taught me how to sew when I was little, and I always just loved doing it. So I figured I'd take this opportunity to do something that I don't normally get to do, and show people that like I can do it.
I did a documentary about Kings Park Psychiatric Center.
So me and my sister worked together, and what we wanted to do was we wanted to change all the pictures that were up in the hallway. We made a whole Flickr page with 87 pictures on it, and we printed them out, spent a whole week printing. We spent a whole week trimming them, matting them. We had to clean all the frames off, and then we took all the pictures out and then put our new ones in. Next year, if they continue with the AP experience, that maybe students would want to change pictures in another hallway. So this year we only did the first floor south wing. Maybe next year they'll do north wing or upstairs, because still there's a lot of stuff that could be changed and be better, yeah.
So I chose a less developed country to present to a kindergarten class that I already previously worked with the whole year. So I made a Prezi, and then I taught them about the flag and different facts, and then they did a worksheet on it, and I made a video showing their progress. Actually presenting to the class was really interesting. They really liked the music of Bangladesh and the different components of the culture, and they actually learned a lot because they told me later, and seeing their worksheet progress was interesting. Well, I want to be a social studies teacher, so doing this was like good practice kind of like teaching kids like about a different country and what the word culture meant.
For my AP experience, I created a floor plan of the computer lab and the woodshop room in the south wing. And I offset the wall 10 feet to create a new floor plan that they might use to rebuild these rooms. I used CAD to create my project, which was computer-aided design, and that allowed me to create this floor plan.
The project that I did for AP Experience was to be able to apply physics to movie scenes and whether they were real or not. So actual physics equations such as kinetic energy, potential energy, conversion of energy, all that applied to actual movie scenes, whether they can be actually possible or not, or whether it's animated to make it seem as if it's real. So it's kind of like a Mythbusters for movies. The one thing that surprised me the most was how certain movie scenes can actually seem very real and very physically applicable, but then when you actually put the math into it and the physics equations, you find out that they're actually not possible. The most surprising scene was, I did a scene from the latest Spider-Man movie, The Amazing Spider-Man, and he was actually falling off a tower and he's able to hold up a huge tower with just his webs. And I didn't think the tension would hold up, but I did the physics application to that and I did the F net equals ma equation, and I found that it's actually physically possible for that to happen.
So me and my partner Rujan Alanjas, who's not here today, but we basically tested a rocket and launched it multiple times to try to determine the air resistance constant of that rocket nose. We really like the movie October Sky, and we sort of just wanted to recreate something like that, and we figured, post-AP experience, it's a good opportunity to do it. I learned some very specific stuff about just rocketry in general. I learned how to launch a model rocket, which is actually harder than it sounds, but I also learned a lot about the mathematics behind calculating air resistance constants.
For our AP experience, we made candles. So we researched how to make them, and then we went to Michael's, got all the materials, and we tried to make 6 different types with different scents and colors. So we had like 3 different attempts at making them on different days, and we progressed over the 4 weeks that we did it. We just thought that it would be a creative thing and it wouldn't be the ordinary project that everyone else was doing, so we wanted to do something different.
I think the most fun part was actually seeing that in the end, like our final product, and that what we achieved, and they actually came out really nicely, and we ended up making labels too, so just, and also our teachers said they were really nice, and I think just learning how to do something new was the most fun part.
And it was something that we were passionate about, and I liked how everyone could pick what they wanted to do and actually really pick something that they wanted to pursue.
To be able to challenge yourself and do different things is basically what makes you a better person out there. So
it's your time to shine. Like, you could just do whatever you want to do. I think it's a great opportunity to just showcase your abilities.
AP Experience.
AP Experience.
AP Experience.
AP Experience.